we are off on an epic 3,000-mile, 19-fire lookout adventure in South Dakota and Wyoming. However, I live in Washington State, so we've got about 16 hours of driving to do before we even hit the first fire lookout. Oh no, okay, new plan.
It's like 2:30 in the morning and I woke up.
That's the most off-roading I've ever done. Moab is definitely second to it. This is some of the most fun I've had driving. Tonight we're just heading for a campground outside of Bozeman, Montana, and that's the only campground camp that we're gonna be doing on this entire trip. The reason for that is obviously we're getting in late and I just wanted to be able to pull in, set up my tent, and go to bed. But we've got about another 6 hours until we get to that point, so I'm gonna hammer these miles out. Our first 75-mile-an-hour speed limit, baby! I just can't wait till Montana where it'll be 80. Montana, baby! Wouldn't be a road trip without some roadworks, would it? Man, it is just picturesque out here. I love driving through this section of I-90. Albeit I do like it better in a sports car, but I'm still enjoying the views and having a good time. Triple! 80 miles an hour, baby! Let's go! This thing is riding like really comfortably, even with the XC90 front struts and all the other lift modifications that we absolutely thrashed to get done last week. I got it done on Wednesday. It's currently Friday. Go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. It was last minute. Can we talk about how nice the rest stops in Montana are? Like every time I stop at one, I can't believe it. This person's passing a semi at 70 when the speed limit is 80. Like, what is going on in Montana, dude? Well, we might be getting wet tonight. I have not checked the weather forecast for anywhere I'm going. If you want to know why my steering wheel isn't straight, check out last week's video. Well, if that doesn't look like Montana, then I don't know what does. Sure is beautiful out here. All right, we're about 5 minutes away from fuel, and I'm gonna need some fuel myself as well for dinner. Don't need a lifted vehicle for that cattle guard. Well, I was looking for my jelly, and apparently I forgot that M&Ms come in paper wrappers, so I guess we're having dessert first. Definitely not the most dignified thing I've ever done. We're gonna have some peanut butter and jelly on some sourdough bread here. There's what we're going with for our first one. We're gonna do open face here, and I better eat this thing before I spill any. So far, I've been lucky. Knock on some fake wood trim. Oh, and we got it on the pants. I knew it was gonna happen. I gotta eat this thing before I spill any more. Oh God. Oh man, we almost lost it all. I think I'll be finding a park next time I try and make this meal. Man, I'm gonna have to strip naked before I get in the tent tonight so the bears don't find me. All right, finally getting back on the road, but we aren't gonna be into camp until at least 11:30 now, it looks like. Oh, Jesus. All right, 2.5 hours to go. I think I'm just gonna hammer this out. I'll see you at camp. Lost cell service. My podcast just stopped playing. Pulling into this campground in the middle of the night and this weather is just crazy, man. I didn't think this was gonna get off to such a wild start. At least I have that soundtrack to listen to. Dude, I've seen like 4 cars. What are these people doing out here at 11 o'clock at night? Oh my God, dim your lights. I think we're here. I need to make it down to site number 10. It looks like we might have a break in the rain, so we might be able to set up camp. Well, as I was saying that, it started pouring again, so I don't know. We'll see what we end up doing. Holy crap, it's pouring. What a start to this adventure. Is this number 10? That's us. So as you can hear, it's not raining as hard. I'm gonna try and set up the tent as quickly as possible and try to keep it dry. All right, we've got camp all set up. There's a couple of people being kind of loud next door, so I'm just gonna hang out in here for probably about a half hour before I crawl in there. This is a Phillipsburg Brewing Co. Otter Water Session Pale Ale. Yeah, that's definitely a session pale ale. That's really good. Currently it's about 11:30 and I have about a 10.5 hour drive tomorrow, so I'm thinking I go to sleep around midnight and sleep until 6:30 and then just get up and get on the road after, maybe spending a few minutes looking around, because obviously I couldn't tell, but this place looked beautiful. Also, shout out to Organic Maps. I'm completely offline right now. My Google downloaded maps failed me, but Organic Maps, because it actually lets you just say, hey, I want to download Montana and South Dakota and Wyoming. It just works. Well, I've got some videos downloaded here, so I'm gonna watch 1 or 2 of those while I finish this beer here, and then we'll go climb into the tent where it'll hopefully be nice and dry, unlike last time I tried camping in the rain. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It was miserable. It has stopped raining actually, so we can take our time while we make our way to the tent. Plus, our noisy neighbors seem to have gone to bed. Alright. Bro, those neighbors that were noisy, they're being noisy in a completely different way right now, if you catch my drift. I mean, it sounds like they're having a good time. Now I can clearly hear the discussion about how the experience went and what they could do better in the future. Just cannot even, man. I can't even. Alright, I'm very thankful that I grabbed these guys, because these are gonna come in handy tonight, that's for sure. Alright, I guess that's it for me for tonight. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully the neighbors don't feel like round 2 in the morning. It's just before 7. I gotta get up and gotta get the tent put away. I gotta get out of here. Man, it's beautiful out here. Take a quick look around and then we'll hit the road. I don't think I fancy a swim today. Alright, today's part of a healthy breakfast is a chocolate chip cookie dough fit crunch and a melting forest mushroom energy orange cream. It's fine for a protein bar. Alright, time for the mushroom energy. Definitely tastes kinda healthy. Not bad. Alright, and we are off. I'm looking forward to experiencing this road in the daylight, because last night it was slightly terrifying, but it looked really fun. Man, you might remember a few videos ago I tested a code scanner on this and I was able to turn up the seat heaters. And man, I am nice and toasty right now as compared to earlier where I wouldn't hardly get warm at all. Can we talk routing? Why can I not tell Google Maps that I have 150 miles of range on my car and find me a gas station in roughly 150 miles? This is crazy. This is a pain in the ass.
It's basically the WAN show. Yeah. No, a lot of the time.
I believe we have about 10 hours of driving left, so we should pull into camp around 6 o'clock p.m. and we actually have to find a place to camp. We're just gonna be dry camping in a nature reserve type area, I think. Google Maps just informed me that there's low visibility ahead. Like, who is reporting these? I don't need my phone to tell me that. I have eyes. Casual classic Mustang cruising along at 80 miles an hour. Alright, fuel stop number 2 complete. We've got 5 hours till our next one. Back on the I-90. Alright, stopped here along the highway to check out this bridge and do yesterday's 15 minutes exercise, but I'm also getting pretty hungry. It's about 11:40, so we're gonna make some PB&J. Hopefully a little less messily than yesterday. Welcome to yesterday's 15 minutes exercise, and look at where we are. We are in Montana, roughly 10 hours away from home. Now that's a good looking PB&J. Now the question is, how much do I spill? All right, not too bad, not too bad. A little bit on the shirt, but not too bad. Someone honked at me. I don't know if that's good or bad. Quick pit stop made. Let's get back on the road. even notice it until I'd already driven past the sign, but we've hit Wyoming. It looks kind of the same. Apparently I don't know much about where I am because not more than 5 minutes later we've entered South Dakota. Again, it looks pretty much the same. It is kind of crazy to think that I've driven across the entirety of Montana already. It seems like such a big state, but when you're cruising at 90 miles an hour, it sure does make it smaller. You know, people do joke about there being nothing here in North and South Dakota and Montana, and I love it, man. Just see for miles and miles of beautiful landscapes. We are rejoining I-90 because somehow taking the route that we took is about an hour faster than staying on I-90 the whole way. About an hour till fuel, then a couple more hours till our first lookout. Hello.
Good afternoon. Trooper Plunkett with the Highway Patrol. Reason I'm stopping is you're going way too fast back here. All right. Do you know what the speed limit is?
65.
Yes, sir. Did you just see that or something? Oh, I thought you were looking at the sign.
Here, yeah.
Do you know how fast you were going?
I do not.
77.
Well, he seems pretty chill. We'll see what happens. Well, the amount of time he's spending back there is a little worrying. Like I said, I usually try to go 9 over, but I think I was on a downhill, so the cruise control got a little overzealous. He's been back there for quite a while. I think I'm getting a ticket today.
So I am going to give you a ticket for speeding, but I did drop that speed down, okay?
Okay, appreciate that.
Like I said, I had you at 77, so at 12 over. I'm only writing you for 7 over.
Okay.
Lowers that fine down to 117.50.
Appreciate that.
All right, you're good to go, so drive safe.
Defining our memories as the difference between you and
Well, we're just a few minutes from our fuel stop and then another couple hours to the lookout.
our memories, defining our memories as the difference between you and me.
It's currently 3:15. We have 2 hours and 15 minutes to our first watchtower, which means we'll get into that at 5:30. Then I have about 15 minutes of driving to get to camp, so we'll get in there about 6 or 6:30, depending on how long we spend at the fire lookout, and assuming we don't have any more run-ins at the law. I'm really not sure what to expect with this one. It's on a nature reserve, and I don't know if we'll be able to walk up to it or not, because it looked like it was kind of in the backyard of a ranch.
No, it's more than that. The Rhine goes to the coast on the Danube on the other side of Germany.
Man, those XC90 front struts are putting on overtime. They certainly stiffen up the ride, but honestly not in a bad way. I wouldn't mind having it a little stiffer in the rear, to be honest, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, God. Why do I put this stuff on the internet?
Our memories.
Dude, this thing is just ironing out these bumps. Man, this road is rough, though. But the Volvo is just handling it, dude. I love this car so much. Honestly, we could probably be going 20 miles an hour faster, but considering our run-in earlier, the fact that I'm already going 20 over the limit, oh no, I should slow down. Oh boy. The natural environments you can drive through in one day in America is just mind-blowing. I mean, we went from lush forests during a rainstorm to grassy green plains to now these yellow dead plains where the water has cut channels. We got a lot of problems out here, but beauty isn't one of them, at least not yet. Just saw another copper. He didn't get me this time. Only half an hour away from the lookout. We are going to stop one more time to get gas just to make sure we got enough to get where we need to go. You know, I hadn't stopped to think as to why the road was so wet, and I might have bad news. We're driving right towards all of those dark clouds. I couldn't have planned this if I tried. I didn't know I was trying to be a storm chaser today.
3 giant fields of wheat in Siberia.
All right, and we are pulling into Martin. No, I don't like that. You're entering Martin. Nope. You're filling up in Martin. That doesn't quite seem right either. All All right, we got 20 minutes till the lookout. If it's pouring or fogged in or anything, we might just drive past to where we're gonna camp and then revisit it tomorrow morning. We'll have to see how it goes. And there's our first taste of gravel. We have about 10 miles on this until we get to the National Wildlife Refuge, which is where our tower is located. I've been on better gravel roads, but I've also been on much worse. Do you think Google was figuring we'd be going 75 miles an hour when they estimated our time? Don't go in the ruts, because then we'll hydroplane. Let's still slow down a little bit before we end up in a field. Dude, we are getting wet again tonight, aren't we? We're driving deeper into the storm. Oh, we can see it. I didn't even notice because all the birds. It's right there under the rainbow. Let's go see how close we can get. So these are the Lacreek headquarters. Yeah, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a public area or not. Oh yeah, there's like a parking area here and everything. Man, this looks like a really cool area and somewhere that I'd like to spend more time if I wasn't on a mission to do something else. There is a do not enter sign there, but there is not one over here, so we're just gonna walk around this way. I cannot get over how beautiful it is out here. I wish I had more time to spend. Warning, climb tower at own risk. Wait, so that means we're actually explicitly given permission to climb it. Let's go. We got a ways to go. Man, I cannot wait for this view. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the distance. That makes me a little nervous. We're going roughly in that direction to camp as well. And we appear to have our very important lightning rod up here. It's the tallest thing for miles in any direction, as near as I can tell, so it's good to have. My favorite view is out this window though, of the little marsh there with the bridge and the road going through it. Oh, it's wobbling in the wind, baby. I just want to pick it up and drive it around. Well, I guess that's mission complete. Time to turn around and drive 16 hours back home. No, I'm kidding. We've got 18 more lookouts to hit. Make sure to stay subscribed to catch every single video from this adventure, or go over to patreon.com/JoelKalich to catch them early. I don't want to go down. The opening's a little small. Man, the view's almost better from the first landing here. All right, I gotta record my daily walk and get down already. We gotta get moving on to camp because we've got a fancy dinner tonight, I promise. It's very fancy. What, do you not believe me? All right, the daily walk recorded. It's time to say goodbye to this one and say hello to camp tonight. Man, it stopped raining and now it's just muggy. All right, time to head about 13 minutes up to Little White River Recreation Area. Hard to say goodbye to a tower when you've driven so much further than usual to visit it. Like, I probably won't be back to this one in years, if that. Road impassable when wet. Honestly, I think we'd probably be fine, but considering we're so far away from home, better play it safe than sorry. Let's find another route around. I've captured any on film, but there is lightning strikes going on kind of around me to the front here, and that's a little concerning. And after all this rain, these roads are sloppy. Oh, this road's fine, dude. we might be camping in a beautiful location tonight, I tell you what. Well, unless it rains a lot. In which case I'm still excited, but less so. Well, this ain't too bad now, is it? And I don't think anyone else is gonna be coming out here to join us in this weather. Can you hear the thunder in the background? We better get the tent set up in case it starts pouring. Oh no, okay. New plan. Wait for the thunderstorm to pass and throw this in the car. All right, next break in the rain, we'll be trying to set up the tent again. One of these nights here, we're gonna get a dry night, knock on fake wood trim. Well, while we're sheltering in place here in the car, you might have a few questions. I'm gonna try and answer at least 2 of them. Why don't I just sleep in the car? There's a few reasons for that. It gets really muggy because you're breathing in here. Like, I mean, look at my window right now. It's really cramped. I'm just a little too long to lay straight without like significant modification to the vehicle. And third of all, it makes it really difficult to pack. And then when you're doing off-roading and stuff is sloshing around, you'd end up with a bunch of your camping gear and stuff on your bed. So I really just would prefer to sleep in a tent or something. That's working out really well for me. The second question you might have is, where is Leah and Menko? Why am I doing this solo this time? And the main reason for that is Leah injured herself playing soccer, and so she didn't feel up to the trip, and therefore we wouldn't have someone to wrangle Menko while I'm like trying to get a drone shot or stick the camera out the window. And plus Leah would be lonely, so we decided it was best for her to stay at home on this one. Of course, if you got any other questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll try and answer them. It is not raining too hard right now. I guess we'll try and give this a second shot. I really wish I had an easier tent to set up, but the tent that's easy to set up is not waterproof, so I think I know what I'd rather have in this situation. And again, no tent is waterproof if you're setting it up in a thunderstorm. I tried to move it to higher ground. It might not be as level, but I'd rather be unlevel than wet. All right, it is dry-ish in there, but not dry enough that I want to put my sleeping gear in there until I absolutely have to. Well, I'm glad dinner isn't too complicated. We have Fritos and chili, Camp Classic. And in order to keep it healthy, we've got a couple of carrots. And tonight, we will be enjoying another otter water. You know, that's nowhere near as satisfying as a k-ch. It's the dullest knife in the world. This knife was my parents' camping knife before it was my main knife in my first apartment, and now it's my camping knife. So this knife has seen some shit. Chuck some butter in. That's a lot of butter. Oh my goodness. A little less butter maybe. All right, chuck some butter in there. Some salt and pepper. I've got my fancy pump gas fueled stove here. There we go. Well, while those cook, it looks like I got a little bit of trash picking to do. Please tell me there isn't shit in here. I believe with carrots, since they're so hard compared to something like asparagus, you want to cook them at a lower temperature for longer, so that's what I'm aiming for here. Hopefully we don't take so long that it starts pouring again though. Man, now that the rain stopped, it sure is nice, aside from the mugginess at least. Man, the mosquitoes have shown up now that the rain's gone down. They were like immediate. That's awful. Those are some good looking carrots. And of course, to save on dishes, when that warms up, I will enjoy my carrots. Definitely al dente, but good. The traditional way, of course, is to pour the chili into the bag of Fritos, but I don't want this many Fritos and I want to be able to enjoy them later, so I'm just going to use my bowl here. And there you go, that's dinner. And that's my flashlight on the ground. Tomorrow I'm hoping to be able to sleep in. It looks like we have about 4 hours of driving to do, but that'll probably be interspersed with stops to fire lookouts, so it'll probably be an all-day event once again. As for right now, were you aware that the people who make peanut butter, Skippy, well, peanut butter, they make a candy bar? I saw this in the store and I couldn't pass it up. I think the best way to describe it is like if a wafer cookie and a peanut chocolate cluster had a baby. It's pretty good. And finally, while I watch my video, I've got one of these. 10 points to whoever can name which video this was in last. I've had it before, but I don't remember when. All right, it's time to hop into the tent. When I checked in there, the floor was quite wet, so that's where we at. Really hope tomorrow is a dry place to sleep so I can dry out my gear. Our little string line up here appears to have broke. Let's see if I can retie it. The floor of the tent actually did dry out a little bit while we sat in the car, but it's definitely still damp everywhere. Yeah, and what that's nice for is hanging my glasses on and stuff. Man, everything is just a little moist. All right, I think it's time for me to roll over. Wish me dryness.
It's like 2:30 in the morning and I woke up, of course. The tent's holding up though, so that's good. Knock on wood. I'm gonna try to get back to sleep.
All right, it's just about 8. Time to get up and get out of here. It's not currently raining, but it rained a lot last night. Wherever my sleeping bag was touching the floor of the tent, it's pretty wet, so I'm probably gonna try and drape sit over all of my gear in the car and hope it dries out a little bit in case it's raining again at our camp tonight. Man, I'm not like soaked. It's just everything is just kind of damp. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a fine mist going on right now. Dude, considering the storm we heard last night, I was sure the night lapse camera had fallen over. I can't wait to see what photos are on this thing. Of course, you've already seen them. Man, even if it is miserable out here, it sure is beautiful. It almost feels like I'm at home in the Pacific Northwest, honestly. Well, this morning we're gonna have some oatmeal and coffee, and I really don't want to take the time to make it, but some hot coffee right now sounds amazing. A little dry, not too bad. Ooh, not bad. All right, I think I'm gonna cram the wet tent right here and then lay the sleeping bag across everything.
Will past Joel continue to get drenched on this trip? Will the weather clear up so he can dry his stuff out? Will he visit all 19 lookouts that he's planned to visit in 9 days? All of that coming soon, so make sure to subscribe to see that starting next week, or join the Patreon to see it sooner. Of course, if you like this installment, then hit the like button and leave any comments if you have any insight about any of the places I visited in it or anything else. I guess that's all I've got. I've got to get to editing next week's video. I will see you then, I hope.
I don't like giving up, but I think it's the smart move for me and the car. I think that's the right choice.